Yes, Ma. So we are back finally for this lovely Sunday collective.
Good morning, everyone. Lots of love and healing.
Good morning. So just doing a sound check. Harshal, I see you've joined in. Could you let us know in the comment section for the live that if you can hear us?
Yes, you can hear me.
Achika sending lovely hearts. Mamishi is also sending a namaskara. Umang, can you hear us? Okay, Marjorie from the Philippines says, perfect. Okay, love you.
Okay,
thank you for the sound check. Here we go again.
Here we go. Jai Mata Di.
Jai Mata Di.
We're celebrating the feminine divine.
Yes. Perfect.
This is for you as well, Divya.
The grateful Ma, yes. And some to the Instagram
yes,
gods.
To everyone.
Everyone.
So that it all works well.
It all works beautifully. And I see lots of people joining in, which is so wonderful. And so before we go into today's exploration of the better self versus bitter self and how we get tied up in regret and remorse, I'd really love for you, Ma, to tell us that where does this journey or this quest for bettering ourselves come from? Is it from a past life? Is it a human condition? Is it a condition of all living beings that we constantly wish for better, aspire for better, the ambition to be better?
Yes, I think that the soul journey begins when we have this immense desire to want to be equal to the divine. And then the divine has I would say a ministry that takes care of wanting to make you king in your own right. And so sends you down into the material universe to play that role of wanting to be very strongly connected to being king and master and controller and doer and caretaker of the self and the world around you. So in that ambition is born this wanting to better yourself all the time. And this bettering of yourself becomes an obsession. And then we get stimulated by looking at other people and what they're achieving and how. Remember that we looked at the divine and we saw that we were a little bit envious that why can't we be in his place, right? So that consciousness, the soul imprint is carrying lifetime after lifetime. And this lifetime after lifetime, it results in material nature that we want to be more, successful. We want to have more money. We want to have a better watch, a better car, a better aeroplane. We want to own a helicopter. We want to have our private jets. And we want to have our private islands. The whole ethos of wanting ownership is very important to us. So, it's like the general of the army is very important to his troops and his, he's the commandant of the force. And so he's feeling very validated that he's the commander, right?
Yes.
Then he's coming home and his wife calls him and says, can you buy me this grocery and that? So then the wife is feeling very empowered that she's commanding this general of the army. And then he comes home and he takes his dog out for a walk and the dog is relieving himself and the dog is very powerfully, excited that he's making this general stand at attention while he does his business, right? So the thing is that every soul, whether you're in the animal form or in the human form or in any other form, you're always aspiring to be a little bit better and better and better and better and better. And the whole world is orchestrating to, to show you the mirror and to show you what is important and what is not important. But do we really listen? I'm very surprised that many people have so many, blasts from the past and so much of information and so much or what their parents say to them and what the elders in the family say to them, what teachers in school will say to them, what repeated parent-teacher meetings, the teachers will inform the parents and will guide them that your ward should do this better, and he's very good, but his written work is not good. And all the messages of the universe will come, but we are so busy looking at what other people are doing that we refrain from reflecting on our own self at what are we doing in the moment, and are we really listening to the universal messages of greatness or not. So we are always bereft of information that is coming from the universal context of the collective, that we are a collective whole, a form of human enterprise, and everybody is giving us a message, but we are not willing to listen, and we are refraining from even authenticating the messages that we are getting from the universe, and we are thinking that we know better, and we are so busy telling other people that we are not silent enough to understand that if all that intelligence, all that information is coming as a seed to be sowed in the fertile ground of our aura, and in this fertility will grow whatever it is that we are putting the seeds down for. And sometimes people are ravaged with misfortune and hurt and pain and depression and anguish. And sometimes if you tell them that, you only sowed the seeds of all this, and now you have to go out there and de-weed your garden of all this, they say that, how is it my fault? How did I didn't do anything? It's all the fault of the others. So, it is a great revolution for a soul to regenerate, rejuvenate, plant those seeds, and then wait patiently for that crop to grow and to give them the fortune that they're waiting and looking for. So sometimes we have to really, really, really be very vigilant of what we are doing, what we are thinking, what we are saying, what we are meditating upon, and what are the actions that we are doing for the welfare of the world. Only this morning, I think in the Let's Heal, I was talking about sending healing to the self, then sending healing to the loved ones with whom you live, then sending healing to a neutral person, and then also sending healing to someone that you dislike or, is no more in your life, or was, or, somebody who gave you some pain. Because in that healing will be the greatest revolution of actualizing humility and letting go of the false ego. And then, of course, it is about the collective, whether it's your, home, your city, country, the world, how much ownership you take of sharing the light. So I know that a lot of people will be very, very impatient, that they do not want to give healing to the people they dislike. But in that is the highest growth of an individual, because you're just knowing that in this moment maybe they're not of that much value to you, because they've done something distasteful to you or neglected you. But the reality is that the whole world is always going to negate what you're doing. And you can't spend a lifetime trying to explain to people, to the murmurs of the universe. You have to see very deeply within your own heart and what you are doing with yourself. And where is your destination? Where are you focusing on? Where do you want to live? Where do you want to heal? What you want to heal, and who you want to associate with. So I'm reminded of a very sweet story about these two geese and a turtle that used to live in a very nice swampy land, and they used to be best friends. And then this water body and the pond and the lake were all getting dried up. And the geese were thinking that very soon they won't have enough water to drink and, float on. And so they were going around and flying around and looking for a better lake and a better space where they could go and live. So they came one day and they told the turtle that, we've decided that we'll have to leave this because there's not enough life sustenance power left in this in this alcove of life, and we'll have to really find a new destination. So the turtle was very sad, and he said, I'm not going to be able to go with you. So I'm going to be so sad to lose you as friends. So they said, no, but we have a plan. But the plan is that you must not speak, must not open your mouth, and we will be able to take you across the land to that beautiful new place. So he said, oh, I won't open my mouth for anything at all. And so the geese got a stake and they held it in their beaks, and they told him to latch onto the center of this bamboo pole. And they said, you cannot open your mouth for anything, and we'll fly you across to this destination. So they were he said, absolutely, I promise I won't. Because they said that if you do, then we'll lose you forever. Because you'll fall down and from such a high speed. So he said that, fine, I'm done, I'm going to be with you. So he latched onto that stake, and they started to fly across the lands, and everything was going really, really well till they were flying over a village. And all the children and all the people of the village, they were saying, oh, look at the foolish turtle, why is he holding onto that stick? And why is he, being flown across like that? Why is he being a slave to this moment? And why is he not more intelligent to do what he's born to do? And what is he doing? It's just hanging there. And so the turtle was remembering that, he's not supposed to open his mouth. And then the children were mocking him, and they were saying, oh, what a fool. So he thought in his head that he must explain to the world around him what it is that he's doing. And it's such a gallant thing that his friends are doing for him. And he opened his mouth and he fell down. And
never to be seen again.
Never to be seen again. So the premise of the story is that people around you will mock you, will show you, a mirror of things that you're not really doing. But there's no point in justifying, because finally it's about you. So to be in that meditative state, to send out the healing, the turtle could have sent healing, right? And he could have just shrugged their concern over his shoulders and said, doesn't really matter, I don't have to explain my actions to everyone, and I can just get to my destination. So sometimes people, the collective, the city, the country, sometimes even the neutral people will create a symphony of sound that is discordant with what you're trying to achieve. But my advice to everyone is to stay connected to what is their own purpose in life and to move ahead without paying too much attention to criticism, but definitely listening to every sound that comes to you from the universe, because there could be a coded message in it for your own evolution. So that is how I look at it. Yes, and how I would like you all to look at it, that you have to center yourself in silence. You have to be a little bit meditative. You have to cultivate a little bit of humility. I'm not saying all of it, but you can begin. And that humility comes from gratefulness. So when you have immense gratitude for your body and for your life and the people who are in it, then you're going to use all that in a very sympathetic way for yourself and for the world that you live in. And share what you feel, but don't criticize, don't waste time thinking, oh, what a sight, what an unusual thing. Everything in your life is unusual, and you have to balance it out, and you have to marvel and wonder at this vision and say, thank you for showing me, and move on. And then the penny will drop, what was happening with the turtle and what will happen with the turtle and the geese. So then we'll be all delivered to that sanctified new meadow where there will be plenty of nourishment, water, sunshine, air, and the earth energies will be fully resplendent and rejuvenating all of you And that'll be wonderful.
Yes, Ma. So actually what I am taking away, I don't know why my mind is going to the geese, and that actually even those that are there karmically to facilitate or to assist you and are friendly souls, they have their own journey to complete. So they are not going to stop on their flight to come and look for you if you fall down or if you are lost. So
And the other thing is that the other part of the story is that the two geese are your heart and your mind, right?
yes, Ma.
And they are always in tandem, trying to be intelligent, wise, compassionate. And that turtle hidden inside that shell is your false ego. That is always chattering and always telling you what not to do and what not to do and do. Until you don't crash it and it doesn't get into smithereens, you're not going to live a happy life. So that's why humility is so important.
So very important.
And of course, the stick is your level of connection with the divine. Now, it could be the level of your karma that you're catching on to, the false ego is catching on to. So, finally, one has to let go of the negative karma. And how do we do that? To stay connected to the divine and sing along and let the brain and the heart be always connected to the divine. Let the brain be always connected to the heart and the divine.
Yes. So we have a lot of questions, Ma. So we have a lot of questions, Ma. And we have Divina Kaur, who's joining in. And she has two questions where she asks that, is the ego a bad thing? And can we not befriend our darkness?
Yes, of course we can befriend our darkness, and but the thing is that in that darkness there has to be some illumination for us to see, where we are going and what we are doing. Because in that darkness, sometimes we don't have great vision, great sight. That's why they say that when you are not able to see, you have to be able to smell and hear and taste. And touch the truth of our own nature. And our own nature is that we are always living in the cave of our heart. But in that cave of the heart, our karmic resonance of good fortune is like that flame, that candle that illuminates and shows us that gratefulness is very important. So in that gratefulness is born the seed of auspiciousness that will show us the direction that we have to take, so that we can be, we can leave the depression, the boredom, the lack of clarity behind, and we can take our ego self, which is always wanting to be in service to the elders, to the light, and to move ahead, to share, to give, to comfort the other. And in that, you're inviting that energy of great support from the universe, and then you are sublimely lifted by the light to get to your destination.
So yes, we have to travel through the darkness for sure.
Yes, we all have to.
But we must have that stick that the ego can grab onto, or that light, that illumination, that transformation that is taking us through it. And then it's the false ego, Ma, that's the chattering
mind that's always telling us and always complaining and always telling us everybody is no good and they're not our friends and they're taking too much from us. But remember that whatever people are taking from you is something that you owe them from a previous life. So that's why, getting connected to healing is so important, that you don't have any resource limitations. You're connected to an unlimited source of light and love that you can keep giving.
Yes.
So you can share and share and share and share right till the last breath. You can be sharing the light with the others.
Thank you for that question, Divina, and for joining in today. She says that she's from Montreal. She's Indra Auntie's daughter. Oh, wow. Lovely to connect. And she says, beautiful said and great point or good point,
love
Divya.
you.
Lots of love to you. And then we have Sudhivya joining in from Bombay, who says, Pranam Ma, bowing at your lotus feet with deep gratitude, reverence and humility. My dearest Divs, lots of love. Love to you.
Love you, boy.
And he's saying, grateful for ever-loving embrace. Love you so much forever.
Sending you big hugs and lots of success.
Lots of love and success. And I'm going to go to the questions since we're
Yes.
here only for another 30 minutes.
Okay.
So we have Inder, who's joining in from Canada as well, who says that, Master, what are the indicators that these desires of being controller are over? How should you live when you are aware of this? Grateful.
The basic thing is that, there are two very predominant energies of envy and jealousy that are constantly living in our solar plexus. And they grow so strong that they reach our eyes and they reach our ears. So everything that we see and everything that we hear is manifesting as this envy and jealousy energies. And they're making us look at things that people have, look at things that people, even things that we want from our own self, where we are constantly meditating on the lack of. And we're not really looking at all that we've achieved. So I always know that that great nectar of gratitude comes from our heart, which is not very far away from the solar plexus. And that energy of compassion and gratitude also grows from the heart, and it also reaches the eyes. So there's always a very, very sweet war between the gratitude and the envy, and between compassion and jealousy. So they're always living in the eyes and the ears, and they're doing the cosmic dance. So when compassion and gratitude win, that means that we have a sense of great comfort and ability to make new decisions that move us away from the darkness, and move us away from being helpless, and move us away from thinking that we don't have to give anything to anybody, and we have a birthright and everything should come to us first. So in that, how to recognize is that when you have satisfaction, and that satisfaction is the balm that heals the envy and the jealousy and also lives in the solar plexus. So satisfaction comes from understanding that you've done your effort, and finally the result is dependent on how much of perseverance, how much of effort, hard work, how much of commitment to excellence is born within you.
And consistency. And I think this really answers Simran, my lovely Simran Sani, who's asked a beautiful question, who says, Ma, how do we manifest something that we really have worked hard for? So the manifestation occurs
in the hara, where the false ego is put to bed, and your real confidence comes to power, and then you know that the universe is unlimited resources. And so if it doesn't come from this specific person, it can come from somewhere else. So just keep replicating your brilliance.
I think, Simran, I think the point that I always take away from us, this consistent, committed action is that we cannot be disheartened from not receiving rewards immediately, or even in a timeline that we are expecting. So maybe someone is an artist, or they're a dancer, or they're a singer, or they're in any of the creative fields, and they've been working at their craft for 20 years, and they feel that, oh, now I'm 30 or 20 or 40 and I should have achieved X, Y, and Z by now. But whose timeline is that? Is that your timeline? Is that society's timeline? We just have to continue and not get disheartened. I think a lot of us get disheartened by not receiving that reward. So actually, Ma, what is, the humility, the consistency. So how can we motivate ourselves? What is that one statement or one thought that we can really hold on to, that you can give us as a gift today, so that we can really be motivated and we don't get disheartened by life's,
It's a little interaction I had with somebody in my office yesterday.
Yes, ma'am.
And the person is a doctor, and his wife is an architect, and his son wants to be a cinematographer.
Okay.
And so he said that he was meeting a very, very famous cinematographer. And he was introducing himself and his wife, and he was introducing his son and saying he wants to follow in your footsteps. So the man looked at him and said that, you know, if you are even a mediocre or a half good doctor, you can have a great profession. And looked at the wife and said, even if you do simple homes and nothing brilliant, you'll still get sufficient work. But to be a cinematographer of great repute, you have to be the best.
You have to be the best.
And that will only come from diligent, hard work without expectation. Because you never know when the reward is going to be there and when the public at large is going to actually recognize your brilliance.
And I was just thinking, as Ma said this, that when the public, this is such a key statement, that when the public will recognize your brilliance, it could even be in your family.
Yeah.
And that brilliance could maybe be recognized, Simran, unfortunately or fortunately or karmically, I don't know what word to use, beyond our physical lifetime. There are so many artists who never got recognition in their lifetime.
Yeah.
But they didn't stop creating, and then they were like discovered and rediscovered, or they were maybe considered just not that great, or they weren't that famous. Like, I think we have to also focus on what are we actually wanting to manifest. Is it the fame, fortune, or is it the consistent work, like that father said, or satisfaction?
Because remember that when you look at very, very famous people, they may have achieved, everything. They live in big mansions, they have many cars, they have lots and lots of things. And a lot of you are wanting to trade their life for you because, you're going on Instagram, you're going on Facebook, you're looking at the social media and you're saying, wow, wow, wow. But when you look deeply, you want all the good things. But do you want their suffering, their traumas, their sacrifices, their losses,
their tragedies,
their no time with family, or even not having time with
themselves,
siblings, their children, or even having the comfort of living in the homes and mansions that they've created? So people are so disrespectful, I think, of thinking that people achieve without really having to work hard. And without having to give up things in their life and making choices. And sometimes the choices are forced on them. They're not making them themselves. But are you willing to trade everything or embrace everything? No. They only want the good and they want the bad out.
But that's not life.
Yeah, that's not life.
Yeah.
So that's the biggest lesson that I would give to people, is that not to covet what others have and to work hard. And if something's not coming to you in the time frame that you set yourself up, then don't put a time frame.
And don't be disheartened. This is especially for you, Simran, and anyone else, of course, listening in.
And get into depression and, this life is so bad. No. You have to take everything. It's one more day to live well. So live for today.
Live for today.
And do well and enjoy and have the satisfaction, and enjoy the beauty of nature and,
And because Simran is I know she's such a creative person, there are no off days for a creative person.
No,
even when you think that, there's nothing happening, there's so much happening.
Yeah. There's no off day for anyone.
Yes. For anyone. Because we're all creative, actually. Yes, that's true, Ma.
We're all creating our day-to-day, moment to moment. Even the flame is recreating itself. Depending on the environment and how much of clarified butter there is still left in the car. And when it's right it gives up its entire form, right?
Yes.
The flame, and douses in one moment.
Yes.
So it's very interesting.
Very interesting. Yeah, the Vena's laughing. She's saying, there are no off days.
No, there are no off days.
And then we have Sudhivya, who says, how does one navigate through self-doubt about one's talent that surfaces when one is creating, especially when one restarts again from scratch, Ma? What a lovely question.
The question is that, knowing Sudhi is waiting for that perfect script, his sense of humor, his ability to show the world how talented he is, and to have the right cinematographer, the right, cameraman, the right environment,
for
the
everything.
lighting, the makeup, everything.
Yes.
But then I'm thinking that if you are in a space of isolation where the perfect moment is not arriving, why are you not using that time to write a book, write a short story, write
Your own script.
And pour it out there? And some brilliance that is so dormant inside your heart will be there right now. And then maybe you have to be a great author before you have to be a great visual performer.
Yes.
So you have to see where it is that you're going.
So that self-doubt is it somewhere also tied to of course lack of confidence, but also maybe a touch of laziness? I'm not sure.
Huge amount of wanting others to do everything for you and bring the perfect and the universe and the universal energies, and even Renooji is not healing for me enough, and the healing energies of Reiki and the Kikya force and my golden cloud not coming down. I yesterday I had somebody who said that you gave me this mantra 10 years ago and I've done it, and initially when I used to do it used to give me great results, and then now I'm not sure. So I said, but in the last 5 years you've not even repeated it 3 times. So you have to start again, and you have to make a commitment. The mantra is not waiting there just because it's written on a piece of paper and it's automatically influencing your life. Yes, the fact that it's in your mind, it's constantly telling you, chant me, I'm here to help you.
Yes.
But if you're not chanting, you're not putting those seeds of good fortune in your fertile ground, which will become great crops to harvest. So we have to be very vigilant with our own self.
Absolutely. And that vigilance, I think, is tied into part of the answer for Gaurav, who asks that, Ma, what should one do when everything professionally and personally is getting stuck and all projects have some blockages or issues?
The best thing is to put on your shoes and go for a long walk. Because it depends on the number of steps that you need to take to get to those visitations, and sometimes we are so lazy that we are waiting, and it's written in your recorded history that at the 21,000th step this is going to open up for you. But you've taken only 20,000 steps and you're waiting for the 1,000 for somebody else to walk. No, they're not going to walk. So you have to walk. So
you have to literally walk.
Yeah, you have to literally put on your shoes.
For your physical health, your mental health, your emotional health, and now also your karmic health. Yeah,
karmic
I love
destiny. That. Wow. And somebody who said that, nobody loves me and nobody hugs me. So I looked at them and I said, it's written in your recorded history that you have to give 10,000 hugs before you're going to get a hug. Because you've taken those 10,000 hugs in different lifetimes and you've never hugged anybody. So they said, oh, but it's so difficult to hug. So I said, okay, so you hug your pillow, you hug the tree, you hug other things. You hug the water bottle, whatever it is. Just keep telling them, I love you, I love you, I love you. So today he's happily married, he has 2 lovely children, and they love him, and
they hug him every day?
Yeah, and they have such a beautiful, but he did finish, he did count, but it took a couple of years for him to keep, embracing life every morning. He told me one day that I'm actually kissing and hugging my toothbrush, and so I said, yes, just continue. So we finally broke that boundary. He had to participate.
I love that. And then we have Koyal, who says, Pranam ma'am, my question is is it our intuition that conveys the message that the universe is trying to convey to us?
No. It's your ability to see and hear and taste and smell and touch the truth.
Your senses, not your imagination.
Not your imagination, intuition. Sometimes the intuition can be really wrong.
Correct.
So we have to, there is dreams and sometimes messages come with chance encounters. So you have to be ready for the information, for the penny to drop. Just like the turtle dropped, he was trying to explain why he was hanging out there.
So we have to sharpen our senses.
Yeah, and that will come with, remember I said that the solar plexus and the heart are very joined to your eyes and ears. And we are very open to the air prana in our nose, and that's about self-recognition. And then the taste in the tongue is doing two different things. It's talking, it's speaking, it's creating karma, and it's also tasting and actualizing the flavors of life. And then our skin is touching. We are experiencing the sparsh of the air also on our skin, but we are also hugging and embracing other people, touching, like I'm touching my beautiful kurta. So I could be touching it without consciousness, but I'm touching it with appreciation.
That is so illuminating.
Yeah.
That what are we actually doing with our senses, and are we even connected? So reconnect, Koil, and everyone listening
and embrace
in.
Intuition
And embrace
is a very, very heightened spiritual practice development that will come to a healer after a few years of practice, where you'll be able to intuitively connect to your conscious self and the subconscious.
But then that's also a sense, no, Ma? Then the intuition is also a sense that sixth sense that we have to work towards developing.
And before it can develop, you have to have gratefulness, and you have to have satisfaction and humility.
And no complaint. That's my favorite mantra. No complaint.
Before that, intuition doesn't drop in.
So the pipes have to be cleared, fitted in,
fitted one into
the other. And we have some loving messages and some more questions. I'm loving the interaction always, and especially today. So we have Kanishka who joins in, who says that gratitude, Renuma. Ramit and I are blessed with a baby boy.
Oh, congratulations.
We have named him Nirvair. How beautiful. Requesting for blessings for him and for our entire family.
God bless you all.
Lovely.
So happy to get this news.
Yes. And then we have, of course, Jayati, who is just sharing a message of love and gratitude. She says, so grateful to you, ma'am, for transforming explanations for the stories in our life, and grateful to thee for asking all the questions for the entire collective. Yes, we're all asking together. So that is what it is.
Yeah, and that's the other thing that I was thinking about as I was sharing, that people ask questions, but they don't wait for the answers.
Yes. So even from the universe, we're asking for something.
Even from themselves.
From ourselves.
Yeah.
So is that how we end up bitter? Because we are refusing to listen?
That's how we fall off that rod. Because we are so busy explaining to others what we are doing is so right, instead of waiting for the universe and reflecting on the question that we've asked and what is the universe saying to us.
Absolutely.
So we have to. So we have the crows outside saying, you're going to have new visitors today. So I'm just sending them lots of healing for bringing that message and
thanking them
and preparing for whoever comes, drops in. We will welcome them with love in our heart.
Love. I love that, Ma. And then, yes, Ma.
Or somebody else could think that they're hungry, so let me go and put some food out for them. Or somebody could be saying they're polluting the environment and making so much noise. But it depends on conversations that you can have.
And thanking them for the messages.
In humility and in great satisfaction for this association in this moment.
Yes. And from this...
They said that
it's okay. That
you've got the message, now we can depart.
How lovely is that? Just appreciating and at awe at that.
Yeah.
And so we have Arpita joining us, who says, Pranam Guruma, and hello Divya. Hello. She says, does luck play a role in achieving one's goals? And what is luck after all? And she also wants to share that with gratitude for all the healing, that she's gone through her surgery, it went well, she's back home and she's recovering. And she says, gratitude and love. So yes, these are the two questions. Does luck play a role in achieving one's goals, and what is luck?
Luck is the accumulated good fortune karma that we have accumulated with our actions in previous lifetimes and even in this lifetime. And whenever anything good happens, we dismiss it by saying, oh, they were very lucky that happened. No, it's finally about actions that they took in their previous lifetimes and also in this lifetime to open the door to that good fortune, right? So you cannot dismiss it just by saying, oh, it's good luck, good luck. No, it's a lot of hard work, lot of perseverance, lot of focus on progress, and lot of focus on prosperity and permanence in doing the right action. So, a lot of people say, oh, they're just lucky, they're just lucky. They dismiss it, but the reality is not that. It's about a predominant, repeated action with immense faith and devotion to achieve the best in your life.
That we read as luck. As outsiders, we read it as luck.
And what was our other question?
It was tied to that what is luck, and then does luck play a role in our goals? So obviously not.
We play the
role. We play a big role in our goals.
That we have to repeat action, even if it's healing.
Yes.
And even now that she's told us that she's had the surgery, so we're going to send a lot of healing, and she's going to suddenly, be so fit and healthy. And may she never have any surgery ever again, or the need for it. So
yes, and I love this sharing by Neha, and lots of love to Fifi as well. She says that luck in Norse is hamigya, because the belief in Norse mythology or culture is that we earn our luck.
Yeah, we have to work hard for it.
We have to work hard for it.
And it's like plates and sequencing, like people take the money and they put it in the safe or in the bank. So it's the same way your good fortune is decided to unravel itself to give you a great experience in this life. I think you're all very lucky. We are all
very lucky. We've really made our luck.
Yeah.
And we continue to do so.
Yeah.
So how grand is that?
Very grand.
And we have Jaya, who's joining in from Hong Kong. She asks two questions actually. So she asks that what is the hara? And then she asked that why do we want to hear just what we want to hear, whether it's from our loved ones, in our professional life, or even in society and families. Is it the ego? So Jaya, the ego and the hara are the same thing.
The hara is the sacral plexus, which is the chakra, which is very close to your reproductive organs. And it is the place where we create, we generate life, and we actualize our highest potential. And it's also the seat of the soul, where we are getting the vital energy to move our body and to do the things that we are wanting to do. And right next to it is the Kundalini chakra, which has got the seed program of all the good fortune and also the bad fortune that we have accumulated in previous lifetimes, that we have made a contract with ourselves to unravel in this life. So all those chakras are definitely working together. The false ego is coming from dissatisfaction and wanting something, again with envy and jealousy, that is rising from the solar plexus, which is above your navel, which is the chakra of digestion, our inability to digest the truth. And the hardest thing to digest is that other people are better than us. So when we look at other people and we hear their thing, we are unable to digest the fact that they are actually, doing something that we may have aspired to do, but they're better than us. So, you bless them, you move on, and you create your own destiny and you do your healing. And then in that, one day your brilliance will be unraveled. Because you will have done the work, you will have put those seeds into the fertile ground, and they will grow into tall trees that will bear great fruit, and you can share it with others as well.
So then I have a question in this, Ma, that yes, there has to be the acceptance that others are and can be and maybe shall remain to be better than us. So how do we heal that ugly snakehead of coveting, envy, and jealousy, of more envy actually, that wanting to have what others have without putting in any of the effort?
Yeah, there was, I'm going to tell you a story of three individuals who were all bankers, and they decided that they're going to start their own business and they wanted to do a startup. So they all three had some brilliant ideas, and they all took other people's money to fund their startups. No?
Yes,
they go
absolutely.
out
Like
there,
a seed, they made seed fund for themselves. Yes.
So now one of them had to be a billionaire.
Okay.
One of them had to cheat all the friends and relatives who had to part with their money, and they owed it to her from a previous lifetime, but she also had the seed karma that she was not going to be able to actualize her highest potential, but she had to take, because they had stolen from her, and so she had to take that money back, right? And the third one was that the person had to be a famous author.
Okay.
So now they all took this money and they all decided to
Start a business together.
No,
three different friends doing three different businesses, but they
were all
bankers. Okay, wow.
So now one lady who was supposed to be the billionaire, her seed fund kept coming, and different layers of funding, and then she became the billionaire.
And sold her company and now lives on some island.
Yeah. The second one took the money and kept asking for, new level of investment, and kept taking the money. And the money came, people invested, they thought her idea was brilliant, but she ran it to the ground.
Okay.
And today she's a drug addict, very unhappy, and her hara is very damaged. And she lives a life of abject poverty. And she's lost all her friends, her relatives, because everybody says that, she lost her money and they don't want to know her. Now the third one did the startup and it failed.
Okay.
So he wrote a book on why the startup failed.
Oh, wow.
And has become very, very great motivational speaker, and he tells people what all not to do. And his book sells in millions and trillions of copies.
Oh my God, this is like mind-blowing.
So it depends on your final individual karma.
Yes.
You may have great ideas, but depends on what are those packets of stored fortune that you brought from a previous lifetime. Right?
Yes, ma, absolutely.
So how it unravels is all individual. So I see this happening in my office every day.
Every day.
Something or the other, and it's always staying in my mind that wow, this is what they had written, and this is what they had written in the book of karma, and this is what they had to unfold. And this is how they had to take the money.
Yes.
So it's very interesting how life unravels and how we project our fortunes and what we really assimilate. And of course the girl who's in this
in the middle position of being quite
is receiving a lot of healing right now.
Yes.
And I know that she will pick herself up out of the dungeons of her depression and boredom and
it's the light that will be her stick to come out of the darkness.
And then she will be a banker again.
I love that. So then in such journeys, what is the twofold nature of hope? Because sometimes hope is hell open, only plans expansion of the darkness. So why do people love this word or love this idea?
They don't know what hope is. Hope is expectation of somebody else doing something for you.
Okay.
And you think you keep waiting.
No.
It's about hard work.
It's about hard work.
And healing the obstructions and obstacles. Planning your true purpose of progress and permanence and perseverance. and always being aware of what the universe is sending out and being exemplary in your actions, executing whatever it is that comes up in front of you without expectation from the universe, but always in doing everything in excellence.
Wow. So in that excellence and the celebration of the excellence of you and the healing, Ma, we have messages of gratitude from Rajni Auntie, Amina, Rita Arora, and of course Bhavna and Shaurya, that Shaurya shifted to his new apartment. And
Great
he's
news.
very happy and excited. And she says that, ma'am, it's only because of you. And then, of course, we have Ashwini Bhaiya and Dheeraj Bhaiya as well, who says that Garvita got the job.
Yeah,
How
yeah,
exciting.
very nice.
Very exciting.
Yeah, it's a good time in the universe.
Of celebration.
Celebration.
So in this moment of celebration, we have, I think, a very appropriate question from Ash, who says that what is contemplation and how can it help us reflect on ourselves? Grateful, bowing at your lotus feet, Ma.
Contemplation
And reflection, yes.
Yeah, contemplation and reflection are two sides of the same mirror. So the mirror is in the throat chakra. So contemplation is the conversation that we have and that rise from the solar plexus and the navel as cordant or discordant notes that are touched by the hara.
Wow.
And reflection is the seed program of our karma that is also activating through the hara and the creative thrust to actualize at our throat chakra to give us the ability to see the truth. So in that contemplation and that reflection comes meditation, which actually happens at the third eye chakra when the energy rises with the words that we speak or the conversations that we have with ourselves, and the ability to recognize the truth and to see with clarity the truth from our eyes and meditate, and through that meditation have understanding, have wisdom, have knowledge, have illumination, and lead yourself to that space of liberation where there is enlightenment. And enlightenment doesn't mean about the end of our life, and liberation doesn't mean when we leave our body. Liberation is even letting go of the false ego. It's even to let go of the half-truths that we have baked and convinced ourselves are the real truths. And all of them settle and flow down in the force of self-healing when they travel all the way through all these vital chakras to go to our thighs and resurrect our confidence in the divine, and go to our knees to make sure that we are not fearful anymore, go to our calves and show us that willpower doesn't really come from anywhere except surrender. And ankles is to get connected to balance, and the balance is coming from the temples of memory and the third eye chakra or meditation, so that you can balance yourself in that intrinsic knowledge that the divine is always with us, and at the feet chakra to discharge all the negative and be in deep association, contemplation and reflection of the light that Mother Earth is giving us in this human realm, and to take that surge of light back to our third eye chakra and meet with the divine energies at our crown and live where the light lives, and come down with compassion to the heart and live with the heart and the solar plexus in this material life.
I love that.
Yeah.
That is actually, you've just given us a meditation and the key to unlocking bliss, Ma.
Yeah, always remember that all your chakras are functioning. You don't have to tell them. Just like you breathe, your chakras are doing all these functions. So I'm just highlighting them. It's not like some method that you have to do, but always remain in the throat chakra awareness that am I really in touch with the truth, and meditate on downloading total action in humility and sharing with the world around you.
And with that, we come to the end of Lovely Sunday Collective, and Ash says that the ears revel in hearing directly from the divine. That is Yuma. And so before we end, we have just a few more minutes, and I'll take one final question because I think this is a very important question asked by Charu, who says, Pranam Ma, Namaste Divya, we love you. And she says that what is learned helplessness, Ma, and how to heal that trait without self-blame and regret?
Learned helplessness comes from very, very doting helicopter moms and dads who are always doing things for you. And they're teaching you that, oh, we'll do it. And you don't have, and they don't give you the skill set to actually do the action on your own. That's why a lot of people come to healing and they fall off the bandwagon because they want a guru who's going to do everything for them. They don't want to do the healing, and they don't want to take the responsibility, and they don't want to resurrect the seed bank, and they don't want to create the fertile ground, and they don't want to sow the seeds, and they don't want to have the patience to harvest their crop. They want everything instant 2-minute Maggi noodles. It doesn't work like that. So learned helplessness you can just wipe it out with one statement that I am strong, I am capable, I have the knowledge.
I am strong, I am capable, I have the knowledge.
And then all helplessness is gone, and your 5 senses are resurrected, and your throat chakra is active, you're meditating, and so there's no more helplessness because you're connected to the divine and the guru.
What a perfect another gem that Ma drops on us. So with that, love you all. Thank you all for the messages of love. Ma has received them. And we are both sharing our love with all of you.
And once again, Jai Mata Di.
Jai Mata Di. Jai Mata Di. Jai Mata Di.
Be happy.
Be happy. Always, Ma.